champions that can get caught up very easily if they overextend. And so RealityHack gonna have to play well, but if chat isn't lying to me, then clearly he's a great player if they're rating him in the top 4.
Well, I mean, you can never really trust Twitch chat, but we'll take their word on it this time because we are giving them mount codes if they are active. So we'll hope that they're being good boys and girls for tonight as we're going to get into round 1 between Ace and Thx4freemounts. RealityHack and Javert, they are on the Croak and on the Alder. And, of course, Thx4freemounts are on the other two in Lucy and Ashka. As we're heading in already, and we're seeing a lot of damage actually coming out from the Alder. The Ashka in Shodi Matroni taking a lot of damage already. No real action from the Croak yet.
Yeah, but Lucy, once again, just keeping the health pool high. And that's kind of how it seems to work with Lucy in it. And Alder, it's the same. You just keep things so high in health, really just waiting for an opportunity to burst. But it does look like Thx4freemounts have been split up and that Lucy is going to lose quite a bit of health.
Yeah, actually, Lucy taking a lot of damage from RealityHack now. In fact, as Javert's almost got his ultimate available. If he wants to pop the time travel, he may, well, choose to. In fact, as well, RealityHack has almost got the Venom win. He's going to jump in. Is he going to pop it already? Jumps again. He's going to get the time travel now. In fact, there's the ultimate coming out. Oh my goodness, the Infernal Scourge coming out from Ashka, but Shodi Matroni's the one taking the damage.
Yeah, and Ashkin now so low on health, and this could be a real issue, but so is the Croak. RealityHack so low, and Pure Fire activated just to get some healing going for Ashka, and really good opportunity, but there's still the older ultimate available, and no ultimates on the side of Ace.
Croak trying to jump back in once again as Javert pumps the time travel. The stun onto the Ashka in Shodi Matroni goes on down thanks to Hack and Javert, both teaming up and getting the kills. And it was almost like a bit of a lull in play there where both teams sort of backed off and got some heals and then went back in again. But that's going to always favor the Croak because he can always just choose when he wants to jump back in.
Yeah, and you've really... One of the things playing against Croak, you either poke him out or you get into some trouble. And Lucy and Asher, you'd expect them to be a strong poke comp, but it didn't really end up that way with them taking a lot of damage straight out of... I think it's Ace that we're seeing a point up now. I'm getting my team names confused. But RealityHack, I mean, I said, you know, that he'd be the player to watch, and his team's taken the first point, so I'm just going to pretend that I actually know what's going on.
Yeah, Ace is up 1-0 right now. RealityHack and Javert getting that first round. We're seeing a couple of games that have been even though we've seen, say, it was a pretty standard win for Ace just then, quite obviously, but then that doesn't mean they might get a standard win the next round. So it's still anyone's game. Ashka and Lucy is a good combination, as you said. If they can get some damage onto the Alder, they can get that poke damage. Maybe try and just keep baiting around the Croak and just trying to not ignore him, but I guess keep moving away from him, keep the damage flowing onto the Alder as a possibility, or separate them.
Yeah, and at the moment, Ashka has been missing a few shots, and you can't afford to be doing that on Ashka. You have a very high damage potential, but you want to be landing it because that's really all you've got, to be honest. There is a bit of utility with your EX skills, but not really good enough. But both teams doing a much better job of staying together this time. And Ashka does have his ultimate that can be a bit of a game changer, but it's got to be used well. And Alder's ultimate is also available.
Yeah, there comes the Infernal Scourge coming out from the Ashka in Shodi Matroni, but he's actually down already to about 55 health. He's going to get some heals from the Lucy, taking a lot of damage actually from the Alder of all people, who's done about 300 damage this round, more than the Croak. So he's actually being the real problem, and the damage onto the Lucy, who pumps the Crippling Goo in defense, is not even going to be effective enough. They do get the orb in the middle though, but it's still looking Ace are well and truly in control, and it's mainly because of Javert on the Alder.
Yeah, and that Alder is looking so effective. The Ashka ult does come out again, but it just seems to end up with Ashka overextending off of those ultimates.
Yeah, he seems to be taking more damage from the ultimate than he's actually giving out because he's putting himself into a bad position as Javert cleans up the orb in the middle again. And so this is still going the way of Javert, and Alder is, doing so much damage as well as protection for the Croak. they're still on top, but Lucy, Jackei, is getting the heals and is keeping the Ashka alive. He just got Venomous Wind from RealityHack, but again, all the heals coming out from Jackei, and they should be able to stay alive for now. Ashka staying alive again, pops the Infernal Scourge. This time it's again a miss, but not going to put himself into too bad of a position. The Hammerfly stun coming out from RealityHack onto Jackei as the arena starts to shrink.
Yeah, and this time they've managed to get Croak very low, and if they can just land a few nice hits, that could be the potential, but Ashka is quite isolated, as he often seems to be. But the Crippling Goo this time landing properly, and that is going to mean that Croak is very low, and this could be...
They're scattered. Yeah, they're scattered and they're low. The Ashka is going to be able to clean up and pop the Alder in a really bad situation. The Infernal Scorch takes him out, and we've got a 1-to-1 situation in a game that really Ace looked like they were still in control. But Jackei, what a great job on the Lucy, keeping the Ashka alive. He knows that the Ashka is going to be taking a lot of the damage from the Croak, and was able to keep doing some damage as well as focusing on healing, and they just whittled down Ace until the end.
Yeah, and that's the Lucy we saw last time, because Lucy just appears to have so much healing potential that you've really got to burst people down, otherwise you're never going to get anything done, because the heals are consistently coming out. And the Ashka, though he often jumps in deep, he'll jump back out again quick enough to not be in too much trouble. The issue is the few times he's been caught, it's really costed Thx4freemounts.
Indeed. So 1-to-1 at the moment. Just waiting on them to choose the Battlerite so we can get into the next game. It does look like it's going to be another one of those sort of close games. You don't know which way it's going to go. They're both going to have, I guess, a round each where everything's going to go right for them, and then another round where everything's probably just going to go wrong.
Yeah, definitely. And you need to minimize your mistakes. And Ashka's still missing a lot of hits. Yep. So is Lucy. And at this high level, you don't want to be missing shots. And what I've seen from Ace is that they land a lot of their abilities, and that's allowing them to get a lot of damage done. They're going to zone them out, try and get that orb, and they are going to get it. So the ultimate advantage is going to go towards Ace, and now they're just going to try and focus down this Lucy.
And you mentioned about obviously landing your shots, and I agree, because if you have a look at Javert and on that Alder, he's landing everything, and it's not as much damage as an Ashka can put out, but because he's actually landing everything, it ends up being almost more, or at least the same amount of damage as the Ashka. Pops the time travel there, in fact, lands it back away in safety. The stun, as well as now the Venom onto the Ashka, who's taking a lot of damage as he's actually behind the wall of the Lucy, and is not going to be able to get healed. He's going to have to dash away to safety. In fact, now we've got a rather even game. There comes the Infernal Scorch, but again, it just doesn't seem to really do that much damage, and a lot of damage is now popping onto the Lucy and Jackei, but she will be able to heal most of it back up. In fact, 80% of the health is in favor of about 48% for Ace. They are struggling, and they're not getting the heals that they need because the Lucy's out healing the Alder.
Yeah, and now this Alder is going to be in trouble. Crippling Goo, and then the Firestorm from Ashka. Nice little combo, and Ashka is very high on health, so this Croak is going to have to focus down that Lucy very quick, but nice stun coming out, and then the Infernal Scourge. Croak is really in trouble.
And you kind of feel like, you know, maybe he shouldn't even really use the Infernal Scorch. I know it's kind of funny to say that, but it's not his strong point. It's not what is giving them the win or the kills. It's their consistent damage. And what it's actually doing is putting him into a bad position. And we saw that when they lost that round, was he took so much damage from using his Infernal Scorch, ironically.
Yeah, and I think his Infernal Scorch has been getting better over time. He's been landing a bit more, but you really want to be using it at the right time. It's not just a matter of, oh, hey, I can use my ultimate. Let's do that, because in this game, everything's about correct timing, correct positioning, and once again, Ashka and Lucy missing a lot of attacks.
So they're going to come back in again. Ace now, have they got an ace up their sleeve? In fact, as they're getting a lot of damage onto Shota Matroni, but he has actually stepped up his game since that first round. Now starting to land a lot of those shots that you were talking about before, and it's hurting. Javert is really low.
Yeah, and that Alder has been consistently real help, and so if they can focus him down quickly, it's going to be a lot easier for them. But now the Ashka is isolated, but the shield that the Petrify allows means that you really can't do that much damage.
No, indeed. Javert is getting rather low. The Infernal Scorch is available for the in Shiny if he wants to use it. Does get Camouflage done. Oh, the damage is coming out, and he gets ripped. The Older does, in fact, by the Infernal Scorch, but Shiny took about half his health in about 2 seconds from RealityHack and Older, but it didn't matter in the end. The Infernal Scorch ripping past the Older, and it's looking very good for Thx4freemounts, and that, well, they might end up getting free mounts.
Yeah, a nice little cancel onto the Croak's ultimate, and then he misses the second one. Great job by Thx4freemounts. They're really looking in control, and I thought Ace had that last round, but then once again, Thx4freemounts just turn it around and they take it out.
Yeah, credit to, I think, Shiny, who has definitely stepped up and turned it around. He's landing all these skill shots now. The Infernal Scorch is becoming more effective than ineffective than it was in, say, the first round or two. Now he's in control, getting the constant damage. But what's happening to Ace? It seems like RealityHack has sort of dropped off that pressure a little bit that we saw in the first 2 rounds, where he was all over them, causing so much damage. Javert wasn't missing a single thing, getting a lot of damage from afar and the distance. It feels like now all the momentum is in favor of Thx4freemounts.
Yeah, definitely. Though they still need to win another 2. And Ashka taking quite a bit of damage there, but Lucy just healing it up. And now it's again this poke battle. Both teams waiting for the right time to commit. And this Ashka, there's a wall between him and Lucy, but gonna jump back. And I think it'll depend on who gets this orb. And it is gonna go the way of Ace. So a potential advantage. Older now with the ultimate available. Let's see if he can do something with it.
Yeah, the heals coming out from Jackei, though, on that Lucy is definitely proving to be the thorn in the side for Ace, because she's able to heal up the Ashka a lot, but can you heal through that sort of damage? Gets to about half health. He's going to have to get some desperate heals, and they're going to be able to get the orb in the middle again for Ace. The Firewall comes out from Shiny, then stunned from RealityHack, and the Venom is starting to cause a lot of damage. In fact, if Javert can keep that pressure up, they could be able to take him down shortly. Yeah,
and now this Ashka is pretty low, and most likely is going to fall, but does use the Infernal Scorch, completely misses it, but due to the Battlerite, has that Purifier, allows him to heal up, and now once again the Croak's in the 1v2, and the barriers from the Lucy have been so good, just keeping the Ashka alive.
What a turnaround from Shiny to take down Javert when he looked like he was the one that was going to fall there. They seemed like, oh, we got him in the corner, he's really low, we should be able to finish it off, and then boom, the Infernal Scorch comes out, destroys the Older, and it's again looking like it's round over for Ace. They're looking like they're going to be down 4-1 as the Australis shrinks and Croak falls down. And Thx4freemounts are 1 win away from, at the very least, getting some free mounts.
Yeah, and all the pressure now on Ace. 1 more loss, and the tournament will be over for them. Remember, this is single elimination. You cannot afford to lose a game. And so now this is intense because they really want this win, but Thx4freemounts just looking so dominant now.
Well, they'd have to pull something completely out of the hat, some sort of reversal, some sort of comeback for the ages on the Oceanic Battlerite scene. Remembering, if you are active in the chat, we still got mount codes to give away. They will be happening this round and after the grand final as well. This one's not just over just yet, though, Gaima. A lot of damage coming out onto Jackei, and in fact, Thx4freemounts at around 70% health to 100% in Ace.
Yeah, and now Ace have a lot of energy to use these ultimates. Croak not far off his, but once again the Infernal Scorch, and it seems to be doing a lot more work now. And
so the Venom Wind actually comes out from RealityHack. He's got to get a lot of damage before he falls down because he is extremely low. Ashka gets a lot of heals coming out from the Lucy. Nice right click coming out from the Croak in RealityHack though, but Javert is now the one taking damage, and it's 39% or about 48%, so Thx4freemounts have got an advantage because Lucy consistently keeps getting these heals, pops a very defensive crippling goo, which means that RealityHack can't get in their face again.
Yeah, and
the turnaround Infernal Scorch as well.
Great jump out from Croak, not to be in trouble there. And even though he's on low health, he is still able to do work. Maybe just needs to grab a few health potions. Yeah, he's going to get 1 then 2 as well. Dashes away, can pick up some ultimate orbs if he wants to as well. Wants to get some damage onto Jackei. Maybe they should change their attention over to Jackei. I know Ashka's really low, but he can turn around and do a lot of damage. Now it's actually the damage from RealityHack onto the Lucy, but it's going to be an in-step steal. No, Ashka couldn't get the orb. In fact, it went over to
Ace. RealityHack, though, is extremely low, trying to get some damage onto Shotty Matroni. Jackei coming to help out, getting the heals and the damage, and a failed camouflage stun from RealityHack, and he's going to have to wait for another turn, although he does have the Venomous Wind available.
Yeah, and at the moment, that Venomous Wind could be what they need, but he needs to land it very effectively, and he needs to get the Ashka as well.
There's the crippling goo, as well as the Infernal Scorch, both coming out from Thx4freemounts, still holding onto that Venomous Wind in RealityHack. Pops the camouflage, he's got to get it to go now. Stun, and then is he going to pop it here? No, still dashing around. He has to use it before he dies. Does land it onto the Ashka, though, who is extremely low from the Venom. Gets healed up from Lucy. The arena is shrinking. Shotty Matroni is so low, as well as RealityHack and Javert. The Firewall comes out as well from Shotty Matroni. Gets the barrier from Jackei as well. The Dashing Crow trying to get the final damage to take down Ashka to keep themselves in the game. The stun onto Jackei, the Venom, the damage, but RealityHack is so low. Javert trying to get the damage onto Ashka. Finally, Shotty Matroni goes down, and Lucy is not far behind, and finally, Ace get another win up their sleeve.
And could we see the comeback? I mean, we've seen teams come back from 4-1 to 4-4, but it did eventually end up going the way of the team that originally had the advantage. So a lot of pressure still on Ace. They can't afford to drop one single point, but they've now shown that they can do this. And if they show up and have some nice play, then they could really still take this. But it's going to be tough because Thx4freemounts are playing so well.
Yeah, definitely, but they know the recipe for success now. They've got to be able to deal with that Ashka while still not taking too much damage as that orb sort of gets moved around there. In fact, it will go to Ace, though, as RealityHack pops his Venom on his swords. It's not going to really be too effective, though, the sense of time coming out, in fact, from Javert. And he's got the ultimate as well if he wants to pop that time travel and try and get some damage. But, geez, RealityHack is so low already. In fact, it's 60% health for Ace, 84% for Thx4freemounts. They've got a big advantage. The Infernal Scorch comes out, but it's going to be a nice time travel as well to keep RealityHack alive. But he's so low already. The crippling goo, it's going to get dashed. But they're still running on fumes. RealityHack is so close to death.
Yeah, and this is what we've consistently seen. The Croak so low, but he almost has Venom, and there it is. He's got that available. We've seen it effective before. It is going to land on the Ashka. This is their opportunity to burst Ashka down.
Oh, and the damage, the camouflage stun as well. Ashka's so low, down to 20 health. Has to get some heals coming out, but it's not. Javert with a long-range damage shot takes him down. And we are staring down the barrel of a 4-3 next game, and it's going to be a comeback so far happening from Ace to turn this around. The not-so-free-mounts anymore.
Yeah, and Ace are just turning this around. They're showing up so much more effectively. Those Venom wins are consistently landing, and Javert is landing so many auto attacks. It puts so much damage down, and they seem to land every single time. They're unavoidable. And
just remembering, of course, the games today, as we have a quick little pause due to some lag for Jackei. The games today will be uploaded through VODs, so you will be able to catch all the action that happened tonight. Any of your games that you played in will be, of course, able to be rewatched later on YouTube. I do believe the link will either be posted in the Twitch chat or available through Disconcur if you so wish. But while we're having a quick little break, 4-3 Ace, we know they've got the potential going up. Can they go all the way?
Yeah, that is the question, and it's really hard to say because Thx4freemounts, the way they've played, especially in the second, third, and fourth rounds they won, was so dominant. They almost didn't let Ace show up, and so I think that if Thx4freemounts shows up like they did back then I don't think Ace will have a chance. But they've been making a few more mistakes, and Ace has been really capitalizing on them. And so I think Ace can do it, but it's going to be a really tough road.
So we are right back into the action now. Hopefully no more issues for Jackei. And maybe that was, I guess, a case of no excuses, but possibly could have been a hindrance for the last game or two, the last round or two, sorry. As we into now the final couple of rounds for this round 4. Before we head into the grand finals, remembering, of course, the codes for the mounts will be giving away in the chat. If you are active, you can chance at a demonic mount skin as the stun comes out from RealityHack. He's not going to go too deep, though. Is going to back off straight away. And now they're going to switch their attention over to Shotty Matroni once again. And Venom is starting to hurt. The camouflage stun. No, what a reversal and a dash away from Ashka.
Yeah, and now they're going to try and put as much focus on Ashka as possible. Infernal Scorch does come out, and that Purify allowing him to stay at max health. And now it looks like
Jackei is disconnected here, so that's unfortunate there. And he'd taken so much damage. There was actually no call to pause though in chat.
Yeah, interesting.
So I mean, I guess in just any single game, I mean, you've got to call for the pause. So, the people who are running the stream can't actively pursue who is not moving per se. You'd have to be watching every little detail to pause. So that's that's an interesting thing. Well, hopefully either the game gets paused. There's not much we can really do at this point. Hopefully we get the pause in now, sort out what's happening. But clearly there's something happening with Jackei.
Yeah, and that has, for better or worse, turned it into a 4 against 4.
And so obviously have to wait for Jackei to reconnect, which he just has. I'm not sure on the rules, though, in the case that obviously the last game was completely affected by the DC. If they lose this game now, it would be a bit of a travesty in a lot of ways that they don't get that extra game.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a way to remake fully. So
I guess let's say maybe that Ace win that next game. Maybe you just quickly go into one last round, but then you don't have any of the battle rights. It's 5 battle rights that you don't have. It can completely change the dynamic of the game. It's a bit of one of those sort of situations that just happen in games.
Yeah, and a bit of confusion around how to pause the game. But to be honest, it is on the players to stay in the game, even though the pause is available.
And in that situation as well, they had already actually started damaging Jackei, before she'd stopped moving, and then just sort of stopped moving altogether. And there's not much really you can do in that case. The firewall comes up from Ashka. Let's focus on this game, and I guess thanks for free mounts, they are off to a very, very good start right now. If they can get this win, then the last round won't matter at all.
Yeah, definitely. But there is still that added pressure on them. But Ashka is gonna land his ultimate, and this is
the damage
really
on Alter goes down. So this could actually be thanks for free mounts saying, well, we're not too happy with that. Let's just quickly finish this off, and we're not mucking around anymore. The Venomous win will come out, but in this 2v1 scenario, it's going to be really difficult for RealityHack. And in the end, last round, we don't even have to worry going up. That's all going the way of thanks for free mounts. They will take this one out and head into the grand final even after the DC issue. Hopefully Jackei can sort out anything that's happening, of course, before that grand final starts.
Yeah, and we are going to see the GG come out from Ashka already, and but they do need to kill this Croak. If they don't kill the Croak, then that'll be no win for them, but it doesn't look like it'll be too tricky for them. And there it is. Thanks for free mounts on their way to some free mounts.